growing up, ThunderCats was one of my favorite shows. Lion-O was one of the voices that kind of spurred me on to be the person I am today, to have some of the morals that I have. So I got to sit down with Larry and talk to him recently. So check out this interview between me and Larry. I'm very proud of it, so check it out. Rifters, we are back, and we have a very special guest with us today. That's right, we have legendary voice actor Larry Kenney here. He is the voice of one of my childhood heroes, Lion-O. Larry, how are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm talking to you.
Well, I'm happy to talk to you.
So one of the things I like to ask anybody who's on the show is, how did you get started in your career?
Well, I actually started my career in radio back in, get ready for this now, 1963.
Wow.
I was 15 years old, still in high school. And to make a long story short, I got a job at a local station back there in Peoria, Illinois. And I did a couple hours on a Saturday afternoon, and then they put me on weekends. And then, as months went by, I got to do fill-ins for guys when they were on vacation and stuff like that. And then it just led on and on. But that's how I got started, playing the Beatles and James Brown records and stuff like that.
That is pretty awesome. How did the radio career transition into the voice acting career?
Even on radio, I used a lot of character voices, cartoon voices, impressions of famous people. I had done that since I was a little kid, and got in a lot of trouble in school for it, But even back in my earliest days of radio, when I was on the air playing records, I would between the records, in the commercials, I would do some funny bits with, like I said, cartoon voices, character voices, and things like that. And then when I got to the major markets like Cleveland, Chicago, New York, I started doing commercials using those voices and my regular voice. Then when I got to New York, that led to auditioning for ThunderCats and other cartoon shows, and fortunately I got those too.
Wow, that's fantastic. So how did you go about creating the voice of Lion-O and Jekyllman? Was there any inspirations behind the voices?
Yeah, I sure was. Lion-O's voice is basically my voice. I didn't really have to create anything for that character. All of the ThunderCats themselves are, if you remember, mostly human voices. The mutants had animalistic or cartoon voices, but the ThunderCats, Lion-O, Tigra, Chitara, Humaira, did I mention Panzero? We all had, quote, human voices. And mine was just pretty much my own voice as you hear me talking right now, except a little more dramatic,
Right.
Instead of, like I'm talking to you, I might say, sword of omens, come to my hand, I, Lion-O, command it. But when you're recording, it comes out, sword of omens, come to my hand. I, Lion-O, command it.
Wow.
So same voice, a little more acting.
Yeah. There's definitely a nice difference there. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Now, Jekyllman, interesting you should ask. When I went in for the audition, of course, they showed us illustrations of what the characters were going to look like and gave us a synopsis of what the show was about. And then they asked us which characters we wanted to audition for. So I said, I'll audition for Lion-O and Jekyllman. And as I just told you, Lion-O was pretty much my voice. But when it came to Jekyllman, I started thinking, let's see, Jackal is, we think of them as being wily and sneaky, and nasty and devious and all that. So I'm going to put a little bit of that into it. And then I remembered one of my favorite cartoon shows when I was a kid was Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, great show.
Great show.
And they had a character called Snidely Whiplash.
Yes.
Who was the classic villain, with the top hat and the long coat and big long mustache. And he talked like this, hello now, I'm going to tie you to the railroad track. So I kind of put that together with the Jackal sound for Jekyllman, and it came out like, we must get the ThunderCats, yes.
That is definitely awesome. I never kind of put them two together, but once you did the Snidely Whiplash voice and his voice, it definitely does. I can see the inspiration, and that's really awesome.
Yeah, that's where I got it. That's where I got the idea for it.
So you were on the show for 3 seasons. So what was the usual routine of an average recording session for ThunderCats? And how long would it take to record a typical episode?
About 3 or 4 hours. We did the show. Our recording schedule was one Thursday and Friday a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we didn't record every day because, well, when we first started recording the first few episodes, we recorded, I think, almost every day. But that's because the original 13 episodes had been written. Of course, you have to write 13 episodes before you even begin recording a show. And but once we got the 13 episodes done and on the air, you have to wait for the animator's time, to make the new drawings, and the writer's time to write new episodes. So we would meet 2 days a month, a Thursday and a Friday, back to back, and we would do one show in the morning, break for lunch, and do a show in the afternoon. So that's 4 shows a week. 4 shows a month we were doing.
Wow.
After the first year. It took us about 3 years to do all the 130 episodes.
Interesting. Okay, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what was your favorite memory of making ThunderCats, and do you have a favorite episode?
I think probably my favorite episode is the first one. It's actually 2 episodes. The first episodes 1 and 2 were put together as a premiere.
Right.
First it was an hour-long premiere, in other words. And I guess one of the reasons I like that most is because I got to play Lion-O as a little boy. He was still a little boy.
Right.
And of course, when he traveled through time and everything, he grew up a little bit, but he was still pretty much a man boy, a boy child.
Yeah, absolutely.
A man child, or whatever you want to call it. But in these first 2 episodes, he was still, they told me, I think, that he was about the age 7 or 8 years of age, something like that. So I had to think of a way to do it in my voice so it would still sound like Lion-O, later on Lion-O, but sound like a kid. So I just, I think I made it sound something like, gosh, Snarf, I don't know if I can be Lord of the ThunderCats. I don't know what to do. And they bought it. It worked.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So you played Lion-O for a long time. So what are your thoughts on him as a character, and what would you say is his best characteristic or attribute?
Well, I think the best attributes of all the ThunderCats goes to the heart of the code of Thundera, which is truth, honor, loyal, and justice. I think I got them in the right order. And that's what I liked about the show itself, ThunderCats. You see, when we started recording it, this was 1983, and at that time, across the country, there was a pretty big movement regarding children's television programming, especially cartoons. People were beginning to become upset because the cartoons seemed to be just devices to sell toys to kids, and there was too much violence, people thought,
Absolutely.
So Rankin Bass, who produced ThunderCats, and he had produced, of course, they were producing animated shows, Christmas specials when I was a kid. Life and Adventure. I mean, Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, all those sort of things. But they saw the chance to do a show for children that it didn't have so much of that quote bad stuff in there. Too many toy commercials and too much violence, fighting all the time. That's what the idea of the show came from, and that's what they pretty much stuck to the whole time. They actually had psychologists on staff who would read every script and then watch every show after it was animated to make sure that it met the high standards that Rankin and Bass had set for this new show.
That's awesome. Growing up as a kid, ThunderCats was one of my favorite. It was like ThunderCats and Ninja Turtles for me. So ThunderCats was, holds a very dear place in my heart. And I feel that, it helped me kind of gain some of the morals that I have today watching as a kid. And,
I hear that a lot, and it really makes me feel good. And I always have ever since the show was on the air. Before emails, I used to get letters from people all around the world who said the same thing you just said in different ways, that they kind of found their moral compass in part by watching ThunderCats. And a lot of them would tell me to varying degrees that they had not a very good childhood, some of them. But they would always say, when I went in my room and watched, for 30 minutes and watched ThunderCats, it at least made me forget the bad times and all that.
Wow.
And that's one of the reasons I'm very protective of the legacy of ThunderCats, because I know what it means to people. It's more than just a cartoon show, I think.
No, I completely agree. Yeah, it's definitely more than a cartoon show, especially for me. And I just feel that it had some of the realest characters. They were animals, but they felt human, Lionel would make so many mistakes, but he would learn from the mistakes, and it would make him a better person. And I can't express enough how much I love the show, and I thank you for that.
Well, that's very nice to hear. Thank you.
So you were involved in the 2011 ThunderCats reboot. You were Lionel's dad, the voice of Lionel's dad. How did you get involved in that?
Claudius, yeah. Well, Warner Brothers called my agent, and it was part of their plan, I guess, to have me on the show from the very beginning. In fact, one of the writers that I met at Comic-Con in San Diego told me that, and this was backed up by some of his other writers. They told me it was true that he told Warner Brothers, "I won't do the show unless you get Larry Kenney to play Lionel's father."
Wow.
I don't really think he did that, but he was very intent on not only having me on the show, but to having, you remember there were lots of references to the old ThunderCats.
Absolutely, yeah.
Even to the outtakes. They even had references to the outtakes for ThunderCats. They really kept the show, I think, they were very true to the original concept of the Code of Thunder and helping people whenever you can, and not fighting whenever you can. And so that's why I was very proud to do it.
Yeah, it was really cool to hear you as his dad. It was surreal, but very cool.
Yeah.
So
it was great to do. I remember in San Francisco, before the show had come out, we were at the Comic-Con in San Francisco, and Warner Brothers had filled this whole huge part of the convention center with seats and a screen, probably a couple thousand people in there. And they showed the first episode. And I was the only one from the old cast, of course, who was there. A couple of the people in the new cast were there, and a couple of the writers were there. And we were backstage. You couldn't really tell what was going on because, the sound was really loud and we couldn't see anything. But at one point, we heard this tremendous uproar from the crowd. And one of the guys from Warner Brothers walked over to me and he said, "You know what just happened?" I said, "No, what?" He said, "They just heard you, as Claudius, say ThunderCats ho for the first time, and they went crazy." And I thought that was that really touched my heart.
That was definitely
cool moment. The other guy turned around and he said, "That's why I told him I wouldn't do it if they didn't get Larry Kenney."
So there's going to be another reboot coming out on Cartoon Network. There's a lot of upheaval about it. A lot of fans aren't happy about it. What is your take on the new reboot?
Well, first of all, I have to tell you, I'm involved in it. I'm playing a role in the first few episodes. Not allowed to tell you which one.
Okay.
I've honestly only seen the finished animation that everybody else has seen. And that was that little 30-second blurb that was on the internet a few months ago. And it's very, very different. And I can understand why some people who are fans of the original series and the other ThunderCats series, are concerned about it because it doesn't look like their ThunderCats show.
Yeah.
Well, it's, the world has changed. Animated television shows have changed. They look different. They look like Teen Titans Go, and that's what this one looks like. Yeah, a little bit. And I just tell people, give it a chance. You may like it. You may not. But if you don't, instead of all this negativity on Facebook and people talking about trashing their old ThunderCats and stuff like that, I would just remind them that you have those to watch. They're on DVD. They're on YouTube. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
They're never going to go away. Those old ThunderCats shows will always be here. And this new one is for a new generation of kids.
I guess I'm going to speak for the fan base, kind of. I kind of felt that maybe from what I saw that they were kind of making a mockery of it or a joke of it, but they got you involved, so that makes me feel a little better.
Well, I hope I live up to that. The only thing I've seen a finished product is that little thing that was on the internet.
Yeah.
And as far as the script goes, I've only seen my lines, so I don't really know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know any of the storylines, or I haven't seen any of the script that other people are reading. So it's kind of sketchy. I don't really know that much about it, anything more than you guys do yet.
Right. Definitely makes me feel a little better that, they have you involved. So hopefully they go down the right path. It seems that they're trying to go more comedic with it, and that's fine, I guess. So we'll have to give it a chance and see how it turns out.
Yeah, like I said, I can understand how fans of the original are even upset about it. I can understand that, But like I said, let's just try to keep in mind we still have the original ThunderCats. Them making this new version is not going to destroy the legend of ThunderCats. It's not going to make the original thing go away. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
It's just a different take on it.
Yeah.
A different angle of it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I definitely feel a little better about it now after talking to you. So
good.
So you actually got to play Lion-O on an episode of Family Guy. How did that come about?
Oh, well, just like everything else, my agent called me and said Seth MacFarlane called and wanted to know if I could do an episode as Lion-O on Family Guy. And at first I said, no, I don't think so. I tell him thank you very much. I've watched the show. And I think it's genius. It's just the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But the material on that show is much, much different than ThunderCats.
Absolutely.
Was. It's modern, and there's a lot of things on there that the ThunderCats would never say, never do, And like I told you before, I've been very protective of the legacy of the original ThunderCats. And I was about to say no when my son Tanner, who was about 17 at the time, he said, Dad, this is the biggest show on TV now, and a lot of big stars are asking to be on the show, just like The Simpsons. You really should do it. I said, well, okay, have them send me a script, and I'll decide. They sent me a script, and I said, absolutely not. I'm not going to do it. Because it was a little risque,
Yeah.
And finally, my son said, Dad, listen, those kids that you're talking about that you don't want to offend, the fans of the original ThunderCats, they're not 8 years old anymore. They're 35. They're watching Family Guy. That's what they like now, So I said, okay, and I did it. And I was just afraid of getting any, hateful emails and stuff, but I never did. People liked it. It was just a very short, like a minute and a half, 2-minute bit.
That is really awesome. Beside Lion-O, you've voiced many other characters, but you've also voiced some cereal commercials of some infamous characters. Yeah. So how did you get into being Count Chocula and Sonny the Cuckoo Bird?
Well, back in, I guess, 1978, Chuck McCann, who had been doing Sonny the Cocoa Puffs Bird on TV commercials for probably 20 years at that time, he moved to California, and it was not convenient for him or for the advertising agency back here to have to keep flying back and forth to do it, So they said, well, I'm going to have to get somebody else. But they wanted to keep the voice as close to Chuck's Sonny as they could, because it's what the kids recognize and identify with, So they auditioned, I don't know, probably 100 and 200 people in New York and LA. And they told each of us, come as close as you can to the original sound. So I didn't have to come up with a new voice. Just had to, get as close to Chuck going, up here, I will go cuckoo for my favorite cereal, Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
And then about a year later, another guy retired who had been doing Count Chocula. And I'm angry at myself now because I can't remember his name. But he had been doing it for a long, long time, too. And they also wanted to keep it, as close to his. I changed it a little bit. His was a little more, a little scarier, a little drier, a little more like the movie character Dracula. But they decided they wanted to go a little more light, have more fun than scare people, So I just made him a little happier, Every once in a while laughing like this. Count Chocula cereal, frightfully delicious.
Oh, man. That just put a big smile on my face.
Good.
So you've done voice acting, you've done video game voice acting. So what's the difference between voice acting for television and voice acting for a video game?
Well, the voice acting itself is exactly the same. I mean, it's it's providing a voice for an animated or computer-generated character. I did about a month ago. I did something I'd never done before. I did a video game, but I did the actual character with those, you put that suit on with
the motion capture.
It has the motion, motion cam, mocam. In fact, one of my agents sent me the email. He said, "This is going to be mocam," and I had no idea what mocam was. But I didn't want to seem like a dummy, so I didn't ask anybody. So I went to the recording session expecting to be in a little booth like we normally are and just read my part. When the guy says, "The first thing we do is put the suit on you." And I said, "What?" And it was a fascinating day, I'll tell you. It lasted about from 8 in the morning until about 8 at night. And but it was fascinating to watch how this new technology works.
Yeah, it's definitely different. So what would you say is the most difficult part of being a professional voice actor?
That's easy. Finding a hard surface to fill your contract out at the end of the session. That's an inside joke, because in most recording studios, there's a desk with the engineer's equipment on it, all those knobs and all those buttons and everything else. And then there's usually maybe a coffee table in front of a sofa, but that's always filled with food because the agency people like to order food while they're there. And so when you finish recording, they hand you your contract. So you look around, you can't find any orders, so you have to go out in the other room and find a desk to write it on. So for me, that's the hardest part. Yeah. As a matter of fact, 25 years or even more ago, when I was doing television, I was doing the host of Bowling for Dollars, a game show on Channel 9. And this high school kid wrote me, and he wanted to know if he could follow me around for a day. It was an assignment from his English class or something like that. To find a, quote, celebrity and ask if you can follow him around and take notes and write an essay about it. So I said, sure, come on with me. So he went with me, and we went to 3 recording studios and then a couple of auditioning places and then lunch and everything. And at the end of the day, he said, "I have one more question for you." And that was the question he asked me. He said, "What is the hardest thing?" So I was joking when I said, well, actually, as you've seen, it's very difficult to find a place to lay your contract down on it and sign it. So I would say the hardest thing is finding that hard surface. And he started to write it down, and I said, no, I was just kidding. So I've loved the joke ever since.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that.
There are no hard parts. I mean, face it, there's no heavy lifting in my business, and you don't have to dress up unless you're on camera. But if you have a talent, and work ethic that you're willing to work your way up to the top, I don't see a negative thing about being a voiceover actor.
So what advice would you give to somebody trying to become a voice actor?
I always tell people to take classes. No matter where you live, there's a fairly good-sized town near you which that has, I guarantee you, somebody who teaches voice classes or voice acting classes. So I tell people to Google, for example, voice acting classes in Pittsburgh, if that's where you live. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Or in Baja, California, if that's where you live, and you'll get a list on Google of the ones in your area that offer different kinds of voice classes. You can check those out. Take the class. Make sure you take it with a school or a place that's going to provide you with, when you leave, provide you with a demo tape, or it's actually a CD that they will help you make, showing what you can do. So you'll have something to take away from the class and to play for advertising agencies and agents and whoever else you need to play it for. They also, during the course of the 8 weeks or whatever, 10 weeks, whatever the thing is, the good ones will bring in to your class. They'll bring in the recording studio engineer. You can ask questions of him, They'll bring in a talent agent, an advertising executive. So you get to know people. You get to find out about the business and not just how to use a microphone. That's what I would suggest to people.
Awesome advice. So I have one last question for you. You've voiced so many characters over your career. What would be your dream character to voice if you could voice any character?
My dream actually would be to do all of them. Be the only guy that they use for every cartoon character and every animated movie. No. That would be nice, but a dream? Well, I don't know. Lion-O is such an iconic character of that time that I don't think there's anybody that's any character that would top him in terms of popularity. I don't think. Well, maybe Superman, Batman, something like that. But I've had plenty of fun doing Lionel. There's no character that I wanted to play that I didn't yet. Let's put it that way.
Thank you for being on the show. Really
nice talking to you.
You know, they say that when you meet your heroes that it's sometimes a letdown, but this was definitely not a letdown for me. Like I said, you're one of my heroes. You voiced one of the most important characters for me growing up. So thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to hearing more from you, you know, in the future, more from your career, more voices from you, and I can't... Rifters, we are back here on the Go Network. That's right, the Go Network. Hope you're having a good time listening to the show. Getting a little Salacious John here. So, in all seriousness, we are back. I hope you enjoyed the Larry Kenney interview. Jason's here, I'm here, Dimitri's here, Sam's still here, and we're joined by Dan, finally. Yeah. Dan, how are you?
Hooray.
So, one quick thing before we get into, you know, our crazy talk, because once we get talking, I know it's going to be hard to stop us.
And we ain't stopping.
I just wanted to let the fans know that the network has rebranded. They are now the Go Network, GEAUX. So that's their new name. They're no longer Gag Order Network. They're the Go Network. So, you know, they did a little rebranding. Static Rift's going to do we're going to have a new logo soon. We're going to have some new stuff going on soon. So we'll do kind of a rebranding. We'll still be Static Rift and everything. And you'll still probably hear Sam and Dan from time to time. But yeah, I just want to let that out. I wanted to give the network a little shout out because I was supposed to mention it at the beginning of the show, but I kind of got too excited.
Can I give a shout out?
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to John for being such a great host.
Thank you. I try.
Round of applause.
I want to give a shout out to myself for how much I love my mic and I eat it and stuff. So, you know. You know, that's how I love it. I love this mic. So we're going to get into kind of like a round robin thing. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about movies, video games, whatever. Kind of like we're going to shoot the shit, you know. We're just going to talk. So, yeah, let's get into that. I know I have Sam here, and Sam loves movies, so I wanted to kind of segue into first talking about the initial reaction of the Venom movie.
Ugh.
So going into it, I did not want to see it. I've been saying it for a long time. I don't want to see it because I hate Tom Hardy.
Okay, John, let me ask you. Besides Tom Hardy, why else did you not want to see it?
Wait, why do you not like him?
I've only liked him in Inception.
What the fuck? What's wrong
that was
with
like
you?
his worst role, too.
That's the only...
Tom Hardy is my dude.
He's like the best.
I just feel he's like the quintessential like meathead.
Like Vin Diesel. What? Is that why you hate Vin Diesel too?
No, Vin Diesel. I hate his face. I just want to punch him.
John has a lot of weird hatreds, apparently.
I just feel like he's like a very meaty dude.
He loves the Blade movies but hates Tom Hardy.
Yeah, right.
Listen,
Blade 3.
don't you dare talk badly about Blade 1 and 2. 3, I can't defend that. But going into it, beside Tom Hardy, putting Tom Hardy aside, the CG of Venom looks meh. When you see that,
it's worse than that, dude. I mean, I don't understand why no one's just come out and said that the CG looks like abysmal.
Yeah,
right?
When they do that split thing, when they show part of Eddie's face and part of Venom, he looks like Magic School Bus CG.
Yeah.
It's like awful. It's some of the worst stuff I've ever seen.
Bad Two-Face.
Yeah. It's so bad. It's really, really bad. And just that was one thing. Just his clunky, like, nerdy talk, like, oh, that's not right. We can't do that. Like, he just sounds awful. Like, Eddie Brock doesn't sound like that. He shouldn't sound like. And I don't understand why they made him do that. And reading some of the stuff that people's been talking about because they had that embargo on it, he's kind of like the bright point of the movie if there is one. But the script they gave him so bad that he can't really do anything with it. And for people to say that it's as bad as Catwoman, it's got to be pretty bad.
That's rough. Yeah, that is not a good review.
So what do you guys think?
I didn't see the movie.
Oh, no, the movie's not even out yet. This is just the initial reviews that people are torching it so bad. They're saying that it's worse than, like, Daredevil. It's worse than Catwoman. They're saying it's, like, possibly the worst.
That bad?
Yeah, the worst comic book movie ever.
Worse than Ben Affleck Daredevil?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
That takes some doing. That takes a lot of doing.
They're comparing it to Affleck Daredevil and Halle Berry Catwoman.
Elektra?
They didn't say that. I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Nothing's worth an Electra.
So I mean, it's getting torched by all the critics. You could tell. I mean, the trailers have been ass. They've been so bad.
It looks really, really poor.
Really poor.
It looks like it's so rushed. The CG looks completely awful. Also, like, no one asked for this movie anyways, and it's clearly just like a studio just like doing a cash grab because they're like, well, if we don't do this property, we might lose it. You know, like one of those kind of things.
That's exactly what it is.
What studio is it? What?
It's Sony.
No, I know.
Sony.
Like actual Sony Studios, though. It's not like another company working on it either.
Yeah, no, it's Sony Studios.
Sony, yeah.
They just did a good job with Spider-Man.
What their big problem is this. This is their big problem. They promised so much. They said that they were going to stay true to the character, and it was going to be a adult-oriented film. It was going to follow Lethal Protector storyline, which a lot of fans were excited about. I was excited about. And then they saw how good Spider-Man was, and they were like, you know what? We want some of that cash, too.
Right.
So they dumbed it down. They made it PG-13 in hopes of it crossing over with Spider-Man. Now it might. I don't know. I heard the only good thing about the movie is the after-credit scene. So maybe it's something tying into Spider-Man. But to me, to have Venom, you need Spider-Man. It makes no sense that Venom's on his own. It makes no sense that he doesn't have the, giant spider on his chest. He's not Venom without that. It looks awful. I guarantee you his origin's awful. I think the symbiote's made in a lab. Forget that. I think. What were you going to say?
Oh, I think my favorite takeaway so far is probably like Tom Hardy. I said, like, someone asked Tom Hardy like what his favorite bit about the movie was, and he said that like it was the 40 minutes I got cut out.
I saw that. That was just a headline today. He had to like backtrack on those comments, be like, "Oh no, everything I wanted was in. Just kidding."
So
nah, you said what you said.
He's probably done then. He's probably not going to make another one.
I don't.
He's probably going to exit out of it.
This is a clear case, like the Fantastic Four reboot that came out, where like people are like already apologizing like in advance of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the only way they could probably save face now is if they do like a little reboot, bring him into the Spider-Man movies, and save it that way.
But I agree. It probably won't be Tom Hardy because he's doing the smart actor thing where he's going, well, don't look at me. The parts I wanted to do weren't in there, so don't blame me. And point the finger the other way and continue your career.
I mean, he doesn't really suit the role of Eddie Brock anyways, in my opinion. Not because I don't like him. I just don't think he does. I think that if Marvel cast Venom, he would look like Venom. He would act like they would get the right guy.
Topher Grace was the...
Yeah, he was awful too. I mean, Tom Hardy is a better looking.
Definitely take Hardy over
right.
Grace.
Yeah. Right. He looks more of the part because Eddie Brock's a big dude.
Hey, do not diss my Eric Foreman, all right?
Hey, nothing's wrong with Eric Foreman. Yeah. He's just not good at.
I think Tom Hardy looks perfect as Venom. I like the one thing that like I just never get is that like people like love comics and they're always like, oh, like this is an alternative universe, like blah 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 blue blue blue. Earth fuck like L1 whatever. 312 or whatever it is, and then like it's like I don't see why people just don't treat the films like that too, where it's like, oh well, clearly like it's not Eddie Brock, it's a real live human being.
They need everything perfect.
Because I think that you have a little leeway with everything, but you see how Marvel does everything, and as I love comic books. I think they've gotten every character right. With the exception of the guy who played the Mandarin, who really wasn't the Mandarin and was a druggie. Oh. Beside that, that little creepy twist, every character they've nailed. Every character looks the part. Honestly, I envision them when I read a comic book sounding the part. Marvel's just knocked it out the park. And I think they've set such a high standard for comic book movies now that other studios either have to get on their level or get out. And nobody's really done that yet.
Get in or get out.
I think that's a big problem with the whole DC universe.
Go home.
Go hard or get out of here.
Go hard or get soft.
Like they went really hard with Wonder Woman, and they went super soft on Batman.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I think Batman deserves to have a hard one.
But he's had hard ones.
We all deserve to have a hard one. Yeah.
According to the comic book, hasn't he? Because I just saw.
Oh yeah, Batwang. Batwang.
Right.
So they decided to do an adult-oriented Batman book. I don't know why. It's separate from the current books that are out right now. And for it 3 pages, you see Batman's butt and Wang just helicoptering in the Batcave.
So you actually see it.
You see his penis.
Wow.
But they decided to.
Nobody told me about this?
They decided
Wait,
to.
you didn't know about that, Dan?
Yo, I have missed out on so much.
They have decided to edit it out in reprints and collected editions, though, because people lost their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just flapping in the wind, and I haven't read the book. I've only read the panels that show the Wang, but it doesn't.
Of course you have.
Of course.
He has like no reason for being naked in the Batcave.
It's for research purposes,
Listen,
okay?
He's just naked in the Batcave, like swinging around his Batwang.
Tell me right now, if you had a Batcave, you wouldn't wander around naked.
Oh, of course I would. I'd be swinging. I'd be
It'd be so
helicoptering
cold.
around.
It'd be so cold.
Be so worth it.
He's airing it out, all right?
I'll tell you this though, the cave's got to be cold, but he's still showing a good showing. He should be proud of himself down there.
Sounds like somebody wants you to be naked in their Batcave.
Yeah, maybe. It's good to have you guys back. So yeah, I mean,
Got it.
I don't think Venom can be saved. Hopefully Marvel does something with
What's
it.
the release date for it?
The 5th
Of
October.
So Friday.
So Friday, yeah.
Okay, a few days.
So
All right.
all the reviewers got to see it like a week or two ago, but there was an embargo until today. And then they just unloaded because it's so
How are you
crappy.
going to put an embargo on a Batwing?
No, that was for the Venom movie. The
For the
Batwang was out from the
Oh,
beginning.
oh.
Yeah, the Batwang's out. So it's flying in the wind.
Yeah.
Sorry, I get a little stuck on topics.
So I guess
Is it hot in here?
So I guess something that I wanted to, ask you guys, since, a lot of people were looking forward to Venom, and it's a pile of doggy Duke. What's a movie that you guys were looking forward to, and we're all hyped up for it, and then when it finally came out, it was awful?
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. It's definitely a tough one. I mean, I'll go first because mine's easy. Blade 3.
Oh, well.
I went into Blade.
Yeah.
Listen, Blade 3 looked good when it was coming out.
Did
I
it,
was gonna
though?
say
It did.
you are the type of sucker that would have been hyped for that.
It was good. It looked good. It looked good, and then it was awful. It definitely looked good. He was gonna fight Dracula. Come on, it looked good.
I mean, I was pretty into it until I saw it, and then I
Yeah.
was like, ooh.
Right? I was pumped. Triple H was in it. I was like, oh man,
That should have been a tip-off.
the best of both worlds
Yeah,
right
a
here.
little bit.
Yeah.
And then it
A
was
big
just
one-
the crappiest thing I've ever seen. Well, not the crappiest, but it's up there.
I mean, it's pretty bad, dude.
It's bad. It's bad.
pretty
It's,
bad.
it's
Not
top 5
good.
bad movies. It's a Blade movie, and Blade's in it for what, 20 minutes? For like a 2-hour movie, he's in it for
Not a
like
ton.
20 minutes, maybe.
Not a ton.
Mine was Cars 3.
Cars 3 sucked. I never saw it. It wasn't good.
I never
Man,
saw. Oh no, I'm just responding to Dimitri. I never saw Cars 3.
Me either.
Oh no, I know that the first one was obviously the best one, but the other two just kind of, they lost all story.
So you were hyped for Cars 3, and then
no,
it was
not,
just trash.
Not extremely. It was just cool, another Cars movie.
Okay. All right.
The Hobbit series?
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, they were disappointing.
God, those are bad.
They were disappointing.
It was a 9-hour walk to a mountain.
Oh.
But I mean, that's what the
Like-
book was anyways, but they just didn't get the walk right.
Well, and they stretched one book over fucking 3 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally unnecessary. Could have done it in one movie.
I'm going to have some Mario jumps in this episode.
I'm so glad that's still
Oh, yeah. I always have it right on my desktop so I can just stick it right in at any time.
the standard.
The Mario jump.
Since we got a little bit of a lull, for anybody interested, if you're watching, you can also hear the episode over on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Static Rift Gaming. And I'm going to be running into a bunch of canyon walls while we do it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
There we go.
I like that.
If anyone listening is an Elite Dangerous player, I'm doing these canyon runs full FA off, which for the uninitiated means every input is cumulative. It's hard to explain. There's no dampening thrusters. There's no automatic retro fire. So if I'm moving in a direction and I point my nose in another direction, I keep moving in the first direction. I have to use the ship's lateral and
so like the
vertical
old
thrusters.
arcade game.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's really, really hard. And I think I've been through this canyon I've been running through it for about a week now. And I've died to its walls about 20 times.
Well, stop dying.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Sam, how about you though? You get what's the movie that you were hyped for and it just blew monkey balls?
The last Godzilla movie was pretty disappointing in my opinion.
Yeah, it was.
Which one's that?
The Bryan Cranston one, the American one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It had a lot of potential, but yeah.
Did you see the animated one on Netflix, by the way?
I thought that one was pretty abysmal too. That one I was also stoked for because I was like, I can't believe there hasn't been like an anime Godzilla before. Like, it has to be like, how can they mess that up, right? And then like, there's a lot of like really, there's like a lot of like really cool ideas in it, but like just the execution's just like pretty poor.
Yeah. Plus, there's no need to make it a trilogy.
Yeah, I saw after the first one, I was like, nah, I'm good.
I've actually seen the second one. It gets worse.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah.
Growing up,
Was
I
it?
loved
No.
Growing up, I
Was
loved
it as bad as
Godzilla.
the game, though?
I didn't play the game.
I've never played the game.
The game, it was so bad. Sorry, I'm derailing.
Oh no, don't worry about it. Without Pat, we need someone to derail. I was saying that when I was younger.
I can't derail as good as Pat.
Yeah, no, I tried to get him on, but he said he couldn't make it, unfortunately.
So, John, as you were growing up...
Shout out to Pat real quick. Pat, shout out. Yeah, when I was growing up, Godzilla, I loved them. I loved watching them. I thought they were really cool. So I'm always hyped for a Godzilla movie, but I'm always let down. So.
What's the one with, what is it, Godzuki?
Yeah.
It's an old cartoon.
Godzooky.
The cartoon series.
Yep.
Yeah.
Used to be on Cartoon Network back in the day.
Yep.
It's now on Boomerang if you want to check it out.
That's how you know it's old.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
So, Jason,
Where
how about
cartoons go to
you?
die.
What's something that you really were pumped for, excited for,
Oh God.
and it was trash?
There's a bunch, but the one that stands out is the original. Not original, but the Clash of the Titans movie.
Oh, yeah.
That was so disappointing.
Wait,
and I
the
was
remake one?
Yeah, the one with I forget his name, Sam Worthington, or
Yeah.
whatever, Liam Neeson.
Yeah, that one was pretty rough.
Oh my God, I was so pumped for it because I love like that whole mythology, that whole story, and like it was just so bad. And then I stupidly watched Wrath of the Titans. I was like, oh, they'll fix the
I'm
problems.
sorry, man.
Wait, they
Yeah.
made a second one?
Oh, they did. Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
Wrath of the Titans. I was like, oh, they'll fix the problems from the first one. No, they didn't. It was terrible. Just both movies were such trash. Yeah.
There's basically almost every DC movie has been like that for me.
Well, and I started to get to a point where it was every Sam Worthington movie because he was in Avatar, which I hated. He was
Wait,
in.
you hated Avatar?
Yeah, it was kind of boring.
See, so he dropped the mic on that one, but I think I've said it in the past. Like, I think Avatar's pretty crappy.
Yeah, it's kind of boring.
It's not that good of a movie.
Visually stunning.
That might be a hot
but-
take for you, Dimitri, but I don't think it's good.
It's just not that. Most people like Avatar, so it's rare to find somebody that doesn't.
But he was also in that crapbag Terminator movie with Christian Bale.
Oh, Salvation.
So yeah, and I
That
watched
was-
that too, and I was like, man, what's going on with Sam Worthington?
Speaking of Wangs,
This guy just picks bad
yeah,
roles.
what the hell?
speaking of Wangs, didn't we get Arnold's Wang in that?
Oh God, I don't.
I think we did.
Thankfully,
we
I
got
don't
his
remember.
Oh yeah, his butt, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
CG Arnold, but
CG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're coming
So you
back
want-
with another Transformers. Well, they are too, but
Yeah.
another Terminator.
And the next Avatar movies are coming out in the next couple of years too.
Man, I've been hearing about these goddamn Avatar sequels for like a decade
Yeah, like
now.
forever,
so-
It's
right?
been a decade.
We'll
It's been a
see.
decade. It's been a
Like, what the
decade.
hell does James Cameron do? Does he not Can he not direct a movie? He's on AMC doing his own little show, talking to other directors.
Listen,
How about
James-
you direct your own
he's too-
movie?
John,
He's
James
too busy,
Cameron
like,
does what
excavating the
James Cameron
Titanic or whatever.
does.
yeah.
He's still trying to get it out of the water.
Yeah.
If you had a submarine that could go pretty much as deep as you wanted it to, Would you really just spend time not doing that?
True.
Yeah.
Would you be above? Would you be on land? Really?
The ultimate pressure sub.
Yeah.
I would go into the
Just-
Mariana Trench and try to find the Meg. You know.
Yeah.
He's got all the money in the world too, so he's got like a champagne dispenser in there. He's got a HEPA filter, so he can just burn big fat stogies.
If you're gonna go
I'm
searching for the
honored.
Meg, at least make sure you bring Jason Statham with you, because he's the only one who can kill it.
Did anybody see that movie, by the way?
I did. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
was it?
Oh boy, it
I
was
loved
just
it.
as crappy as you would imagine.
Whoa, Sam, you
What?
loved it?
Yeah, I mean, like it's not good, but
It is. It's
Is it-
exactly what you think it
Is
would
it
be.
so bad that it's good? Is it
Yeah,
one of
it's
those?
one of those. Like
I
it's
think
exactly
so.
what you think. Yeah.
So
Wait, which one is it? I'm lost.
The Meg
Unless
with
the guy caught
Jason
it.
The Meg?
Statham, the one from like 6 months ago.
Oh, the Meg,
Or-
yeah.
the Meg.
So Sam, here's a really hard-hitting question for you.
Lay
Is
on
it
me.
is it as good as Cradle of Fear?
Nothing as good as Cradle of Fear. You know that.
That's the right
Harris.
question. That's the right answer to the question.
That's the right answer to a very silly question, John.
I know. I shouldn't have even asked it. I'm
We
trying
should,
to.
we should do a live stream and just watch that movie.
Dude,
Oh man.
yes.
We really should.
Oh,
The ne-
sorry, I was so into that I just ran into a stalactite.
we have. We got to get you guys to come back home once, and then the four of us will just sit on a couch and watch Cradle of Fear and talk about it on air. I think that would be.
I could sit there and get super drunk, and
Yeah. as
we
much
pretty much just completely rip off Red Letter Media. It'll be great.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong
except
with
better
that.
because we're watching Cradle of Fear.
True.
We could call it like Rift Letter Media or something. Maybe get sued. So James Cameron hasn't done anything since Avatar.
What was that, like 2007 or 8? Or...
It
9.
was, it was a while.
Yeah, but hasn't he been like revolutionizing like deep sea bullshit?
Yeah, he's
Supposedly, yeah.
he's in the depths, the darkest depths, and then when he comes out, he goes to AMC and does his show with directors, and that's all he does.
Yeah, he's being a crazy billionaire. What do you expect?
Taking his sweet ass time
But-
and doing stuff. Yeah.
But everyone, but like all the people that, they just feed into him. Like I would if I was AMC, I wouldn't give him his own show. Get the hell out of
Eli
here.
Roth has one coming out, which I'm like stoked for.
James Cameron is as busy practicing his lens flares.
No one does a lens flare better than
The JJ
the
Pegler.
J Meister.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That was, going back to the interview, that was really cool that he threw out that J.J. Abrams script thing because I never heard of it. But if he made a Superman movie where Krypton didn't blow up, I might have rioted, and I hate Superman. So I don't know.
I wonder what the story would be because
It just-
that's like
Right? Yeah.
that's the whole
kind of the
story.
whole thing.
Well, I
yeah.
mean, DC's going to give us a black Superman soon.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's what they want to do. They want to cast
the kid from Creed.
yeah,
Oh, okay, Michael
B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
And
Michael
I
B.
love
Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's going to get crucified if they make him Superman. He's going to get ripped apart.
Well, anybody would
Well-
in that situation.
Unless they pitch it as there's an alternate Superman who's black.
Or Bizarro.
Yeah, but I mean, there's an alternate Superman in a different timeline that's black. If they go with him and bring him to the current timeline,
Yeah.
and he's not Kal-El and he's or Clark Kent, fine. But if you give me a black Superman as Clark Kent, I don't know if I'm going to.
Do you think that's because what was his name? Henry Cavill? What's the guy's?
he's
Yeah.
going to do the Witcher?
No, he
show.
left. Yeah, he left being Superman to do The Witcher.
Which Dan, how do you feel about that?
I honestly don't really care about the TV show. The Witcher's a pretty broad series, and I haven't really read the books.
Yeah.
I'm just interested in the game.
Sure, but you're a big fan of the game, so are you even going to check out the show or no?
Probably not.
Oh bullshit! You're gonna do it. You can't wait. I know you're sitting up at night scouring
Oh.
the internet for spec scripts.
Oh, man. Mostly just pictures of Henry Cavill with his whole Geralt of Rivia
Witcher mustache.
outfit on. Yeah.
Dan's got pictures of him with his shirt on, with his shirt off, with the sword in his hand, with it out of his hand.
The Witcher stash.
Yeah.
He swiped right on his Tinder profile.
Yeah, they connected on Tinder even before he was announced.
It was pretty excellent. Like that made my week.
John, I actually just want to get your opinion on something.
Sure.
Have you seen the Shazam trailer?
I have.
What do you think?
I really like it. And this is another one of those things that ties into this, I guess, segment or whatever we're talking about is I'm really pumped for it. And I'm scared to be pumped for it because anytime I usually get pumped for a DC movie, it's like they slap me in the face with a dildo.
But they did
Don't be
go
scared.
on the lighter side of things, which is good.
Sure,
Obviously.
he's a light character.
Yeah, they have to make it light.
Right, he's definitely a light character. And going into it, what is it, Zachary Levi is
Yeah,
him?
he's good.
Yeah.
But he's a great actor, but being a jacked Shazam? No.
It's all the suit.
Sure, but they did a really good job of making it work and not looking too cheap or too like Venom. He doesn't look crappy like Venom.
Well, it's
Movie
it's not
magic, my
CGI.
friend.
I think they had to CGI a little bit,
The suit's all the suit. It's all physical suit.
but the suit doesn't look. I don't know. Sometimes you can tell when they put on like fake rubber and stuff, and he looks good. I don't know. However they did it, he looks good,
Yeah. All right, cool.
and I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be good. Have they shown who the villain is in the movie?
I'm not sure. I don't know the
I don't
villain.
think so.
Because I know they rumored it to be The Rock, but I don't know
Oh,
how
Black
true.
Adam, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how true that is. But if The Rock's in it, I'd be pretty excited too. But
The Rock as Black Adam would be pretty excellent.
yeah, it'd be perfect. It'd be like they're finally starting to cast the right people, and I think that the movie's going to be good because this is the first movie that Jeff Johns is working on or he's a part of. So
Okay.
I think that he's going to kind of get this, cinematic universe into gear because he's, I think, writing some and producing some of Wonder Woman. So that should be even better than before. And, he's going to be the person helming the Green Lantern movie. He might be directing it too. So I have high hopes for the DC universe with Jeff Johns, but I don't know. Maybe one man can't fix it. But I think they need to scrap the whole universe, do something where they reboot it and center it on the Wonder Woman they have, because she's really the only good character they have. Maybe center around on her and Shazam, and then have all new actors be Batman, Superman, Aquaman, The Flash.
Yeah.
Because Aquaman the Barbarian doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And Perks of being a fast wallflower doesn't work for me either.
Wait, what?
Ooh, harsh.
Yeah. I'm all set with those movies.
Yeah, but what about those like 10
John with
different
the D
Joker
breasts.
movies?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, talk to me about the Joker movie, because Sam, I kind of feel, now don't take this the wrong way, I kind of feel like this is down your alley, that you're like, oh, Joaquin Phoenix and Martin Scorsese's producing, like your pants are off, they're around your ankles and you're excited right now, but I think the movie's going to be a buttload of crap.
I mean, it probably will be.
Because
Yeah.
they're going, the directors, the dude who directed the Hangover, and the first Hangover was all right, and then
The third one was not.
the next two were kind of like awful.
Yeah.
And he's directing it. Martin Scorsese's producing it, and they want to make it like, they said that it's not going to be a superhero movie. It's just going to be about a superhero character or a superhero villain, but it's not going to be your classic It's going to be more of like a drama. It's going to be one of those movies.
It's basically a movie that just happens to be about the Joker.
Exactly. That's what they said.
Yeah.
It's basically
Oh,
they're trying to make it,
God forbid there's no like justice punching for one movie.
and they're obviously trying to push it to be like a, Academy Award winning movie, which it won't be. It's like, for one, Joaquin Phoenix is too old to be the Joker anyways.
Plus, he looks like
What?
Heath Ledger's.
Joker's ageless.
Yeah,
Joker Joker can be any age.
So-
he just has to fit the story.
sure, but listen to this though. The movie's set in, I think, the 80s. And it's when the Joker first started out, so he hasn't even fallen into the vat yet of the chemicals. So at that
Yeah,
time,
but he's supposed to be a broken up
Sure.
failed comedian.
Right,
so-
well, I mean, if that's the origin you want to go with, he's had so
Yeah.
many origins. But I mean, he's not much older than Batman, and in this movie, he looks like he's like 40 already in the 80s.
But also it's a movie. It's just like an alternate timeline. Like it doesn't affect anything.
See,
It's just like a what
Also-
if scenario.
Also, Sam, the correct term, I believe we've established this on previous episodes, is justice fisting.
yes. Listen, I'm pretty sure that when the Joker comes out, if we all see it, it will not get many squirts of hot bud. So, I don't think it's
I'm
going to
sorry,
happen.
what?
Yeah, you have to explain that one to me.
You
Oh,
don't.
the butter.
The,
The
you
butter.
don't. Sam, you're the one that created this.
Hot butter.
The hot squirts of butter.
What?
Yes. Remember when we were talking about Spider-Man: Homecoming, and we were talking about how great it was, and then somehow we got off into a tangent about talking about popcorn with hot butter, and then we decided to give movies squirts of hot butter as
Oh,
stars
yeah.
instead of 5 stars. It's 5 squirts of hot bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna
Wow.
get no to Sam.
5 hot squirts.
Yeah.
I give Joaquin Phoenix 5 hot squirts.
Not only that, but like I give him like 2, 2.5, and then like I shake the bucket around, and then I put the remaining 2.5 on top of it. So it's like a full 5.
So
squirts.
you get like you get that extra butter, like when you make the movie theater person dump the bucket and put it all back
It's
in.
got to
so
seep in. Yeah.
yeah. Make them work for their money.
Yeah, it has to
Even
like
coverage of butter.
yeah, it has to like seep through the bottom of like the bucket and like get your lap all wet and stuff.
Oh yeah. If you
Oh,
don't have a
bet.
stain on your jeans, there's a problem.
If you don't have a wet lap, then, yeah, it's just no good.
If there's not a buttery lap in that seat, there's a problem.
Hey, static rift, wet lap approval.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, that Joker movie looks like a steaming pile of crap. It looks
As
awful.
bad as Venom. As bad as Venom.
Honestly, it looks worse. To me, it looks
Well,
worse.
are you ready for the Joker versus Harley Quinn? Because apparently that's coming too.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna have 2 Jokers in their universe too.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Jared Leto's.
Totally,
It's
yeah.
gonna be Jared Leto versus Harley. They're gonna have Birds of Prey, I think, or Suicide. I don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna do Birds
They
of
don't
Prey.
know
I
what they're
think,
gonna
and
do.
she's gonna be involved in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
No,
that.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Jared Leto's Joker is like the only people who think Jared Leto's Joker is cool are the same people who go to Spencer's and still buy like shot glasses with like weed, like pot leaves on them and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
They still wear chain pants.
They're like the dregs of humanity.
Trip
Oh.
Listen, I
Just
had
like-
I
just
had
like
those chain
absolute
pants
human
once.
garbage.
The type of people you walk into their house, you just smell axe, their dead lizard.
Listen, Dan, stop talking about me, okay?
They're always taking trips to like the gas station.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the Birds of Prey movie, and I think he's gonna be the villain of it. And Harley Quinn's one of the Birds of Prey, I guess.
No, I heard that they're 2 separate things.
Are they?
Yeah.
Because it says Birds of Prey release date confirmed for Margot Robbie's return as Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but there's supposed to be another one.
So she's gonna have a Harley Quinn movie too?
Well, no, it's supposed to be her with the Joker.
Oh well, she's in Birds of Prey.
Yeah, I know, but there's supposed to be another.
Oh,
Whatever it's going to be,
Yeah.
it's going to suck. So
It'll be
I
trash.
think it was like Birth Movies Death did like whenever the photos came out for Joker, they did some tally of like, here are all the other ones that are technically possibly still in development that like have at least been like announced, but like whether or not progress has been made on it, like who knows.
So 2 more things about the Joker movie, and then we can kind of get into what we're looking forward to. But they named the Joker Arthur Fleck. It sounds like a Ben Stiller character.
does the Joker have an actual
Little bit.
name?
No,
Little bit.
no, you never know his name.
Oh, okay.
And we have Robert De Niro in the movie as
Oh, jeez.
his name is Murray Franklin.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
We talked about it on the show.
Yeah. Murray Franklin.
Murray frickin' Franklin. And I don't know what he's going to be doing on the movie, but Bob De Niro getting in those comic book movies finally.
Like you said, John, DC basically just gets big names.
That's exactly what they do.
Yeah.
They get the biggest names and try to just get
figure out. They're literally creating roles for the big names.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So that people will come in and go, Bob De Niro's in this. Well, I got to go see the Joker.
It's almost like they said, "Hey, great news, guys! We got De Niro to do the movie." And like, oh, for what character? It's like, oh, I don't know, Murray Franklin or some crap. Who cares?
Listen,
It's just-
you're not listening. You're not listening. We got De Niro
Yeah.
to do the movie.
Who cares what he?
But
who
what
he is?
villain is he playing? No, he's not playing one. He's playing Murray Franklin.
I don't know. He just
No,
said he
no,
would do
no,
it.
no, no, guys. We got De Niro to do the movie.
This is gonna smash the box office.
Oh my god.
That's what DC must do.
It's-
They have to.
it can't be far off. Yeah.
I really hope that Jeff Johns has nothing to do with the Joker movie.
I mean, why else would they get Ben Affleck to work with them?
I don't know.
That's probably exactly what they do.
Yeah,
I hope he's the reason it sucks.
De Niro? You hope that De Niro's the reason it sucks?
And Zazie Beetz is playing a single mother who is involved with the Joker.
Who?
Zazie what?
Zazie Beetz.
Like a musician or an artist?
Who the hell
I
is
don't know.
Zazie Beetz?
I don't know, but she's
She was
playing.
in Deadpool too.
Oh, she was Domino.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Everyone loves her because DC's like,
All
oh, we gotta get her. She was great.
Yeah.
She can be some down and out mom and gets with the Joker. Crap.
Wait, so she's playing
A mom.
in DC and in Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a mom.
She's going where the paycheck is, I guess.
She's just a
Yep.
mom. Yeah, an unnamed mother. All right, so we're winding down here. Let's get a quick what we're looking forward to. So, lay it on me, guys. What are you looking forward to? Dimitri?
Oh, why am I first? No.
I don't know.
I pass.
You got to be looking forward to something.
Phone a friend. 50-50?
All right.
I'll go.
All right, Sam, what
I'll
are you
go.
looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the new Halloween movie.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it does look good. I hope it doesn't
That's-
suck, though.
That's like the big thing for my October, I guess, for the month.
Sure. We'll have to have you come on after you watch it and talk about it or something.
Yeah, totally.
Dan, how about you? What are you looking forward to?
Elite Dangerous is releasing Beyond Chapter 4, which is supposed to be really, really dope. It's one of the biggest updates that's supposed to come to the game. It's pretty much all I do these days. Hopefully, I'll be flying a Panther Clipper here pretty soon. It'll be great.
I feel like you've been playing that game since, like, the first episode of Static Rift.
Yeah, since the game came
Not
out.
quite.
Since
Not
the
quite,
game
but
came
close.
out. you've been
But
playing
close.
it.
Maybe like in the teens or something. The early on in Static Rift, you've been talking about it all this time. So I'm glad.
It's a great game. It's a
I'm
great
glad
game.
you're still into it. How about you, Jason?
I'm looking forward to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Comes out on Friday.
Are you really though?
I kind of am. I still wish that they would have stuck with their promise of we're going to go to every other year
Yeah,
and
but
not
they just-
overload
they
you.
just
And then they're like,
can't.
oh, just kidding. No, here's another one. But I still think it'll be good, and I'm still looking forward
Was
to
the
it.
last one good?
Yeah, Origins is good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't played one in a while.
I
so-
honestly, I don't think they've had a bad one since 3. I know a lot of people didn't like Syndicate. I actually thought Syndicate was good. Yeah, they haven't had a bad one since 3, so I'm hoping they stick with the trend and Odyssey is still good. But
all right.
yeah,
So then you'll have to talk about that when it comes out. And you
yeah,
play it.
but after this, they really should go back to every other year because
Hopefully they do, but they won't.
it's like I feel like I just finished Origins and now it's like, oh, here comes a new one.
Yeah,
so,
they won't.
Yeah, we'll see.
And something I'm not looking forward to is tomorrow I'm going to have my surgery. So, like I said earlier at the beginning of the show, we'll be going on a little hiatus again. And then after that, I promise, there'll be obviously that little Christmas hiatus where we take the break during Christmas and then come back with the Rifties. But other than that, there won't be any more breaks, I promise. So unless
Back
I
at full health.
unless I die or
Yeah,
something.
buddy.
So, but what I'm looking forward to, I just got the new iPhone, so I'm looking forward to playing with it more.
Wow, cool.
Don't drop it or else a break.
I've never broken one in my life, and I've had every one.
They're the most easily broken
I've
iPhone.
never broke. I've dropped it many times. I've never broken it. If you have a good case, you're fine. I've never had an issue with it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I guess because I'm probably gonna have the phone. That's probably gonna be like my only entertainment for like weeks while I'm like laid up in bed. So that's what I guess I'm looking forward to that. Besides that, maybe reading some more comics. I started getting into the new Marvel stuff, and it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So.
I'm looking forward to somebody buying me the new Spider-Man game for PS4.
I told you, I might just get it to play it here, and then you can play
We
it
have
too.
a PS4 in the studio.
Yeah,
Somebody get
just,
it for me.
I might just
There you
get
go.
it to play it because I
Somebody
need to
buy
play
me
it.
one. Or just Static Rift just chips in and just.
Because getting a game technically isn't buying a Sony product, I guess. Like Sony, I don't know.
Unless it's made by Sony, which it's not. It's made by what's the company that make it?
Well, it's published by Sony.
Yeah, but they didn't.
But it's not developed and made.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It's literally just sent out by Sony. It's
Their
not developed
grubby
and-
hands weren't on it, so
Their grubby hands published it.
that's fine. Just because they had a deal with Marvel, if anything, it should be published on all things. But no,
They just know which system is superior. That's all. You can't fault them for that.
I don't agree with that.
Have you guys seen all the Xbox memes that wish that they had Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, those
Oh,
are great.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
based.
Wait,
on,
is it exclusive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
It's exclusive because of
Sony.
Sony having the rights to the Spider-Man.
That
So
makes sense.
Yep, Marvel and them developed it together, I guess. Or
F you, Xbox.
Haha.
it's not fun. They've
I'm actually kind of upset that it's exclusive as well because I want to play it on PC with Flight Simulator controllers just to see how terrible it goes.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
Sony's burned me on Street Fighter and now Spider-Man. It's like, what's next? You sons of bitches, what's next?
Well, that's
Halo.
your fault for boycotting.
They're
Sony
gonna
like
somehow
that.
get Pokemon on there, and then I'm gonna like set the world on
Oh,
fire.
that would be great. Yeah.
They get the rights to Pokemon.
You know what?
I'd be
I
like,
actually hope that you were wrong about Kingdom Hearts 3 and that it doesn't come out on Xbox.
it does. I know it does.
Ah, damn it.
I know it does because I'm contemplating getting it, but
Yeah.
I don't know because I haven't beaten the second one, and I kind of like feel dirty playing the third one without beating the second one.
I hope that you play through the second one and your Xbox crashes on the final boss.
I'd
the
end my
red ring.
I'd end my life. I'd end my life. That'd be it. That'd be my. I'd realize I'm the piece of crap.
Yeah.
I'd end my life right there. So Rifters, I hope you enjoyed this epic, extra long 150th episode of Static Rift. Thank you, Dimitri, for producing. Thank you, Dan, for putting down the drink for a little bit to join us.
Like I put it down at all.
Thank you, Sam, for doing the whole show. It's been It's been a while since we've had you do a complete show with us.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And thank you to my co-host, Jason. You're always amazing. And thank you, John, for, being the best host on the planet and really kissing that mic. So, as always, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Static Riff Radio. You can listen to all of our back episodes on iTunes. I have them almost all the way up. I'm 2 episodes behind, plus this one, so I'll get them up probably tonight or tomorrow if I can. I don't know how the surgery is going to go, but soon they'll be up. And yeah, so you can find them on iTunes and staticriff.com. And you can always find us here on the Go Network. Same static place, same static time. I love you all. Good night.